AITA for telling coworkers extremely bluntly why I'm not participating in the office weight loss bet. Someone got the brilliant idea to make an office diet bet due to COVID gains, with people pooling in their money to see who can lose the most weight by Thanksgiving. I am one of 7 people not participating. Lots of pregos, some bodybuilders, and people who maintain their weight who aren't interested. Since I've visibly gained, they thought I'd want to participate. I didn't. Jen, in charge of everything, kept dropping by to remind me to turn in my form and my money. I said no thanks. Jen wouldn't drop it. Other people got involved, asking me why not all the time. It'll be fun. Don't be scared. I'd feel better and look better. I told them no, I wouldn't, and it's a great way to bond. We're all in it together. It's like Weight Watchers. I'm not interested, and then eventually, I said no, drop it. They decided I wanted them to convince me. 2 weeks into the bet, they tried to trick on the scale to shock me. I contacted HR. People finally backed down. I'm eating my food one day, rice and beans. People sitting with me start dropping hints that how they feel so much better now that they aren't eating carby comfort food all the time. I said I'm glad you feel better. They took this as a sign that I knew I'd feel better again and started up saying I could still join in. I finally fucking snapped and said you guys suck. I'm a recovering anorexic. I get one whiff of competition and start starving myself for days and start puking up what I do eat until I'd have to get my 3rd oral surgery to remove rotting teeth. Does that sound worth it to you? Chorus of wow, and we were just joking. I said no, you weren't just joking. Congratulations, by the way. After you all wouldn't stop, I weighed myself for the first time in 7 years and didn't eat for 2 days. Does that make you all feel good? None of them would look me in the eye, so I just went home for the day. I got a call from the women in HR, who were shockingly supportive of me. One of the bodybuilder guys stepped up and said he's witnessed a lot of the harassment and he doesn't blame me for my outburst. A few others did too. However, they had to cancel the diet bet. I didn't ask them to, and people are blaming me, saying that I can't take a joke. It wasn't that deep, and the girls present said they no longer feel safe working with me because I obviously have mental issues. One of them made a big stink about politically correct bullshit and how I'm the typical hypersensitive millennial. I go back and forth on this all day, thinking I should have just swallowed my anger and gone back to HR or just stopped eating lunch in the office or whatever. I didn't mean to ruin anyone's fun, but I also feel justified in pushing back on their harassment. AITA? NTA, your coworkers were harassing you. No matter your reason for saying no to a non-work related competition, they should have dropped it immediately. Honestly, I'd let HR know about the comments being made, especially the women saying they don't feel safe because you are recovering from an eating disorder. That seems like it could easily skew into more harassment from them, based on how they've acted so far. NTA, you told them you didn't want to participate multiple times, politely. They didn't take any notice of you, and unsurprisingly it eventually came to a head. This has nothing to do with political correctness and everything to do with those colleagues being insensitive. No one should be forced to take part in activity outside of work regardless of what it is. Similar to how you wouldn't force a former alcoholic to go to a pub/bar. My friend used to say something along the lines of you can't keep poking at the dog and then get all upset they attacked you. NTA, at my prior org they tried similar till someone filed a complaint with the Labor Department after HR didn't deal with the passive-aggressive harassment that was happening to people who opted out. I have always been uncomfortable with the diet bet model. Like I'm on WW and LCWW ambassadors endorsing diet betting, and it's weird. I don't know why, but your comment made me cry. I don't feel so alone knowing that this kind of thing hasn't just happened to me and that someone else tried to stop it too. You're spot on, because what they are doing really is harassment, and that does not belong in the workplace. NTA. And if they continue to give you grief in retaliation, then you should continue to report, because the issue is not done. My company has a zero retaliation policy. If you called HR on the group and they are still harping on how unfair it was, the fun was ruined, they would have been punished more severely when that was brought to them. They were called out on harassment and aren't willing to just move on. I'd contact HR again. AITA for not wanting to share my birthday with my dead twin anymore. My 19th birthday is this Friday and I told my mom and dad I don't wanna do anything if we are gonna have the birthday for my twin too. I was an identical twin and me and my sister were born early and she died a few hours after we were born. Every single birthday since I was little has also been a birthday for her. We go to her grave and put flowers on it and every gift has always had both her and my name on it. Mom gets really sad and always cries for a long time and I have always felt overshadowed on my birthday. The grave visit and flowers and all have always been mandatory and I was never allowed to have friends over or have a party until after we did it. I want to go to dinner with my boyfriend for my birthday at his house and then I'm gonna watch movies with my friends. Mom is upset I'm not making the hour-long drive Friday to do the grave ritual and is really sad and my dad is making me feel guilty since I'm their only living daughter and stuff. I told my mom I don't want to share my birthday with a sister I never even knew and I'm done with sharing with a ghost since this has been my entire life. My parents are really upset and now I feel really bad and maybe I should suck it up but I am just so sick of it. Edit. Okay, so I didn't expect as much attention so I'll try to answer some questions I've gotten a lot of. First of all, I don't live at home, I live on campus which is an hour away from my hometown. Second, if my parents go, they can do whatever they want, just without me. I've hated going to the cemetery since I was like 13 and realized how weird it was but my parents were very my house my rules about going. I don't like standing over the grave of a dead baby just to pretend to feel sadder than I do. I know it's hard on my parents but I just wanna have a b-day without being guilty by them. My mom gets quiet and cries a little whenever my sister is brought up and it's turned up to 100 on my b-day. She died the same day we were born. It sucks seeing her like that. I love my parents but you can love someone and not like their choices too. Also I have ABT 10 unopened messages I won't be reading them. 2 of the ones I got earlier were really mean and one said I should have died instead so fuck off. Not reading any more DMs, don't waste your time. If you're afraid I won't see your opinion in the comments, try getting over it. NTA, your parents have allowed their grief to overshadow your birthday for your whole life, and now as an adult you have perfect right to say it is not something you're willing to participate in anymore. Can understand the grave visits, if that had been just a portion of the day, but to give gifts in both of your names, that's ridiculous. You are an individual person who deserves to be celebrated individually. Seriously. After 19 years I understand that the grief of losing a child is still painful. But after that much time it seems reasonable that the mother can at least say, I am in tremendous pain, but my child deserves a life not ruled by my grief. The memory of a deceased loved one isn't diminished if we celebrate a living loved one. Grieving is normal, but ignoring the living in favor of the deceased isn't healthy. Sorry op. I had twins and my daughter passed away shortly after their birth. While my son's birthday will always be bittersweet for me because I will always wish she were still here celebrating her birthday too, I always try to separate those feelings from my son's celebration. He gets his own party and his own gifts. He will soon be turning 3, and his first 2 birthdays we did have a small ladybug made from icing incorporated somewhere on his cake because we called our daughter our little ladybug. And we wanted to find a small discreet way to honor her as well. We do visit her grave, but we do it the day before or after, so his birthday is about him. While I will always grieve the loss of my daughter and I very much want my son to know about her and feel comfortable talking about her, I never want him to feel robbed of his joy because of her. It has been very important for me from the beginning to find that balance. NTA. Hopefully your parents can learn not to force their grief on you and allow you to celebrate your life instead. Still, try to be gentle with them because losing a child isn't something they will ever get over. Understand that they can be incredibly grateful to have you here and love you very deeply, while also being deeply sorrowful over not having their other child with them too. NTA. I had a baby that passed away, my only child, and as part of the grieving process I do celebrate his birthday every year. But I don't think it's fair that you don't get to do what you want to do on your birthday. While I definitely sympathize with your parents, I don't think it's fair to you. I don't see a reason why they couldn't at least do it on a separate day, by themselves, or light a candle or something. What bothers me the most is them putting her name on your birthday presents as well. That's just weird. It's your birthday. It's nice that they still honor your sister, but it shouldn't interfere with your day. NTA. No child should be forced to turn their birthday into a memorial service every single year. AITA for flipping out on my son's school after they lied to him about donation prizes. I will try not keep this short with just points rather than description. If info is needed, please ask. Son is in 4th grade. School is only open on Mondays. The rest of the week he is home with me. They don't do virtual learning during the rest of the week. No Zoom calls are made. No teacher actually checks in. Homework at home is not to be sent back to the school, and instead they get a participation grade the following week if they tell their teacher they completed it. It's backwards, and your students aren't being graded for the work they actually do. Every Monday we get a new flyer in the mail asking for donations. Last week we got a flyer that said to send out 20 emails to individuals to ask them for donations, with the promise of prizes for participation. They also had other prizes on this flyer. Basically, the more people who donate using your name, the bigger the prize you get. My son wanted the headphones prize. Nowhere on the flyer did it say how many donations was needed. I called the school to ask and they said 12. I sent out the 20 emails. 14 people donated. The donation list was to be emailed to the school with the student ID, and we were to pick up the prizes this past Monday. Son was losing his mind excited because he got the 12 donations needed for the headphones. We walk in and they proceed to tell me and my son that he did not qualify for the prize because in order to be eligible, you needed to get those 20 donations. Apparently the prizes for donations started counting after you received the 20. They turned damn near every student away, not just my kid. So I sent the boy out with his father and pulled the teacher and principal aside to let them know that I thought it was fucked up that they got these kids' hopes up for absolutely nothing, and that all they accomplished was destroying the children's spirits by lying to their faces. I then told them that I was told by the secretary that he only needed 12 donations for those headphones. They said, sorry you feel that way. This is just how things are right now due to COVID. So I responded with, oh, so lying to students and breaking their spirits is okay because of COVID? Failing to provide virtual learning for the rest of the week like other schools is okay because of COVID? Asking for donations when the kids are only here once a week must be okay too, right? I then walked out. Well, my son got the headphones in the mail today with a note from the superintendent that said, I'm very sorry for the actions of the school system and the confusion formed around the donation drive. We are trying to work with the families, not turn them away. Please accept this as an apology. My son is over the moon. My husband says that I was being a Karen and that we should have just dropped it because it teaches our son that life isn't fair and that I now look like an helicopter parent. AITA, I don't think I am. NTA. It sounds more like a pyramid scheme than a fundraiser, and by not laying out clear guidelines for prizes it allowed them to pull crap like this. They knew exactly what they were doing. Seriously, her son sounds like he goes to the Arbonne Elementary School.